called me and said, give me every single penny you have in your bank account and we're going to flip it. And I turned that 10,000 into 50,000 in about 3 months. Get rid of me while we talk about money and how I became financially free at the age of 27. My number one most frequently asked question on this app is, what do you do for a living and how do you make all of your money? I would like to state I do make most of my money from content and social media purposes, but I did flip $2,500 into $100,000 in the stock market, and that's what made me financially free. When I was 18 years old, I had a graduation party after I graduated from high school, and I made $2,500, and instead of taking the money and going and buying school stuff and MacBooks and everything that you needed for college, I invested the money in tech companies, and that made me a lot of money. What companies, may you ask? I invested in Netflix, Google, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, the big time tech companies back in 2015. I invested in those companies, and then in 2020, when COVID hit and the Dow went completely down, I invested a lot of money in Zoom in February of 2020, and then most recently I started investing in AI. All of these companies are in the S&P 500. Recently I have kind of changed up my portfolio and started investing in AI just because that's the way of the world. As much as we don't like AI, it's here to stay. But back in 2020, I did make most of my money from COVID. Literally, I made, I want to say like close to 50 grand just off Nvidia alone. And then I made a ton of money off of Zoom. I feel like people think that you have to be like a mastermind in order to invest in the stock market when you really don't. It literally takes 5 minutes. You open, and I'm gonna teach y'all how to do it. I'm gonna teach y'all how to do it because it's so simple. You literally open an account, whether that be through Fidelity or Vanguard. It's literally an app on your phone in the App Store. You download it, you create an account, then you add money into the account, whether that be your savings or whatever that may be. And then you click on the S&P 500 because we are not going to buy mutual funds. You will make more money in the S&P 500 than you ever will in mutual funds. And now click on the companies that you want to invest in. And then people's next question is, okay, well, how do you know what to invest in? I personally invest in tech and AI because technology is not going anywhere. These companies, especially with AI, if you don't have a lot of money to invest in, AI companies are just now becoming publicly traded companies, you guys. So therefore, their stock price is not very high because they're just starting out. I think the first AI company that I bought back last April was $36 a share. That means you have if you have $36, you can buy one share of that stock. So I started investing in tech and AI, and I made my first $100,000. And that is what made me financially free at such a young age. And I think people are held up on, well, how do you know what to buy? 20 stocks that I bought to make me 100 grand. One, they're in the link in my bio, but two, 90% of them are tech and AI. You're also not going to want to sell these stocks off once you purchase them, you guys. You have to sit on them, okay? When you buy them, don't expect a return in one freaking day. You sit on them and you sit on them until you become a thousandaire, 100,000aire, and then a millionaire, okay? You sit on them and let them grow. Again, AI and technology is not going anywhere. You buy these stocks now and you sit on them, you will become a millionaire. You just have to give it time. Let's say you don't want to do it on your own because that's a lot and you have a lot going on. Okay, hire a financial advisor. Go get you a financial advisor, pay him 1 to 3% of your yearly earnings for the year, and then have him run your entire portfolio for you. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is open an account, takes 5 minutes, then you send them a check for how much you want to invest in, and then he invests in all the top performing stocks for that year. If you give him $10,000, he turns your $10,000 into $100,000. You pay him 1% of the 90 that he made you for that year. You're doing nothing. It's zero labor. You don't clock in. You don't do anything. It's literally on a computer. I could have easily taken the money from my graduation and went and bought a MacBook and went and bought stuff for school. And I literally instead invested it into technology stocks in the S&P 500 and flipped. I invested $2,500 in 2015. Then when COVID hit, I put all of my savings into stocks as well. It was about $10,000. I had $10,000 to my name in my bank account. And my financial advisor called me and said, this is the opportunity and this is the time where you get rich, because the Dow was so low and it was only going to go back up. If you have a savings account and you've already done the work by saving the money, I'm telling you, instead of having your money in like a high savings yield account or whatever they call it, take your money, download a freaking app, and invest in the stock market. We are the first generation to have the access to AI. No other generation has that, and we were the first generation to see it. These AI companies, I promise you, are not going anywhere, and if anything, they're growing fast and they're going quickly. If you guys want to see a fast return, invest in AI. It's not rocket science. People will realize that becoming wealthy and becoming rich is not about working hard. It's not about working hard. It's about working smart, and it's about knowing how to do it. And I think a lot of people get scared to become successful because they don't know how to do it. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not educated enough. I don't know how to do it. Okay, well, I'm teaching you how to do it. You download an app, you download money onto the app, and then you buy stocks. Well, I don't know what stocks to buy. Okay, well, in the link in my bio, I have the top 20 performing tech and AI stocks that helped me reach 100 grand, 6 figures, and helped me make it to my goal of never having to clock in at a 9 to 5 ever again. It is 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm just now getting ready and gonna go about my day because I can do whatever I want day to day because I've made choices to get me to this point. And one of those choices that I made was taking the money that I made from my graduation money, and instead of looking for next day gratification and going to Best Buy and buying a MacBook that I would have been happy about for 5 seconds, I took the money, opened an account, invested it, and now I have no worry in the world. If I even run out of money, which I never would, but let's say TikTok goes away tomorrow and I can't make money on content creation ever again, I have over $100,000 in the stock market that I can pull out at any time. As long as I pay capital gains tax on it, I can pull it out anytime and live off of that. So I have no worry in the world. And it really just came down to one decision. One decision. Saved my money, opened an account, invested it, and that's all I did. Y'all, I've sat on that money. I don't do anything with it day to day. I'm not a day trader. I don't wake up and go on my computer and look at the stocks for the day. It literally makes money for me with me doing absolutely nothing in my sleep all day. I barely even look at the account, to be honest. Honestly, 18-year-old me would have never thought that I would have made that much money off of a $2,500 investment. I just wanted to make some money so that I could have a savings account. So if I needed it for college, I could use it. That's what it was really for. And then I started making a ton of money and I was like, I'm gonna save this for my future. Now it's a down payment on a home. Now it's a very high, performing savings account where now I don't feel stressed about living paycheck to paycheck because I always have that in my back pocket, And that was just from me playing the long game. That's all it was everyone just wants instant gratification when they don't realize if you sit on something for long enough, you will have everything that you want. Because all of my friends, guess what they did? They went and bought the MacBooks. They went and got the cool stuff for their dorms. Their dorms were decked out. They had all the cool stuff. I had nothing, you guys. I lived at home. I didn't even have a MacBook. I had to go to the computer lab. What an old term to use, a computer lab at my university to do my homework because I didn't have a MacBook. But my friends had all the latest and greatest stuff. Guess what my friends are doing now that got all of that stuff back then? They're working 9 to 5s, waking up every single day, going to work and working 9 to 5 and hating their lives. And here I am, living the dream off of one different decision than them, just one. I'm telling you guys, it's not rocket science. It really just comes down to the decisions that you make will change your life forever. And that was one of my better decisions in my life. And that is the story on how I became financially free off investing in the stock market. And yeah, if y'all have any questions, let me know. I am very open about this, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.